You know, in the NBA's Eastern Conference, things should be getting clearer right about now. But instead, it is a total mess. And it's got one of the league's most famous fans in an absolute panic. So let's break down why the team at the very top of the standings is causing so much anxiety for the New York Knicks.
You hear that? That's not just some hot take. That's a straight-up confession from Knicks superfan Stephen A. Smith. He's not just a little worried about the Detroit Pistons, he is genuinely scared. And to really get why a #1 seed would terrify him this much, we have to look at what's been happening on the court.
So, yeah, the Pistons. Why them? I mean, you look at this on paper and you're kind of like, what's the big deal? But then you look at the recent games between these two and the reality is, well, it's pretty startling.
Look, this isn't your typical regular season matchup, where teams trade wins. In their first 2 meetings this year, the Pistons have had the Knicks number in a big way. And it hasn't even been close. We are talking about total, absolute domination.
38. The last time they played, Detroit didn't just win, they won by 38 points. A blowout like that doesn't just end an 8-game winning streak for the Knicks. No, it sends a loud and clear message to the entire conference.
And this is not a fluke, it's not a lucky break. The Pistons have built a commanding 6.5-game lead for that top spot in the East. They haven't just beaten the Knicks, they've firmly established themselves as the team to beat.
Okay, so what is going on here? What's the secret sauce for Detroit? Let's break down the actual arguments for why this team isn't just good, they're a legitimate threat to win the whole thing.
I mean, just look at their resume, it's pretty much perfect. They don't just have the best record in the league, their defense, for months now, has been the best in the entire NBA. Period. They protect the rim, they're disciplined, and maybe most importantly, they play with this incredible consistency. That right there is a championship formula.
So yeah, the case for Detroit is strong. It's really strong. But we all know a playoff series is a completely different animal. So what's the path forward for the Knicks? What could possibly give them a fighting chance against this defensive monster?
All the hope in New York, it really just rests on the shoulders of their superstar. See, while Detroit has that rock-solid consistency, the Knicks believe they have a higher ceiling. And that's specifically because they have Jalen Brunson, a guy who can just single-handedly take over a game when the pressure is at its absolute highest.
But you know, this whole thing, it's not just about stats and ceilings. Let's get back to the heart of Stephen A's fear. It's about something you can't really measure, something emotional that goes way beyond the box score.
See, there's a huge difference between teams that can play and teams that are playing with a mission. The Pistons seem to have a massive chip on their shoulder. They want this specific matchup, and they've been treating every single game against the Knicks like it's already Game 7.
So where does all that hunger from Detroit meet a weak spot for New York? Well, Stephen A's biggest worry is the Knicks' lack of durability. It feels like they're walking on a tightrope, and their success depends entirely on everybody staying perfectly healthy.
And the numbers. Wow, the numbers really tell the story here. When their starting five is healthy and on the court, the Knicks win 78% of their games. That's an elite championship level number. But you take just one of those starters out, and they become a .500 team. A coin flip. That is a very fragile foundation to be building on heading into the playoffs.
And the problems, they just keep piling up. It's not just the injuries. Their defensive efficiency has slipped all the way down to 11th. That's just not good enough for a contender. They rank near the very bottom of the league in contesting shots, which means they're giving up way too many easy looks. Then you add in just undisciplined play, like Karl Anthony Towns leading the league in offensive fouls, and, well, you have a recipe for a very quick playoff exit.
And as if the Pistons weren't a big enough problem to deal with, there's another giant waking up over in the East. So the Knicks' path to the finals, it doesn't just have one roadblock, it might actually have two.
Yep, the Cleveland Cavaliers are absolutely on fire. And if you look at the sports books, they are now the favorites to come out of the East. And their big move? Trading for one of the most talented and, let's be honest, one of the most polarizing players in the entire league, James Harden.
And that right there brings us to the million-dollar question. The question that has basically followed James Harden for his entire career. We all know he's an offensive genius and all-time great scorer. But what happens when the lights get brighter than they've ever been?
I mean, just look at these numbers. They are staggering. In his last 4 winner-take-all Game 7s, Harden has been a ghost. He's averaging under 14 points on an abysmal 27% shooting. For a player of his talent, these aren't just bad games. They are flat-out, inexplicable disappearances. And here's the real kicker, right? The criticism is so harsh because everyone knows how great he is. The frustration isn't just that he's missing shots. Sometimes it's that he's not even taking them. For a scorer of his caliber to only attempt 8 shots in a Game 7, to a lot of people, that just feels like giving up.
So let's just recap for a second. You've got a hungry #1 seed in Detroit that just owns you head-to-head. You've got a new super team forming in Cleveland that's now the favorite. If you're a New York Knicks fan right now, you have to feel like the walls are just closing in.
This is it. This is their moment. After years and years of building, after trading away a mountain of draft picks, with their rivals only getting stronger, the pressure is just immense. The championship window for this specific group of guys, it may never, ever be more open than it is right this second.
With the Pistons on the rise and the Cavs loading up for a title run, the Knicks are facing a brutal path. They have to overcome their own fragility and conquer rivals who seem to have their number. And it all leaves us with this one, final, kind of haunting question. With the East this strong, is this the absolute last best chance for this Knicks team to win it all?